Hello and welcome to Modern Broadcast. Today's episode is sponsored by Retro Repair Resale. Retro Repair Resale fixes any of your consoles or mods them even for you, making the guesswork and also the shoddy soldering work on certain projects a thing of the past. So, Retro Repair Resale, thank you so much for sponsoring this video and making it possible. So, I don't know if that's going to focus. Look at that. Retro Repair Resale. So today we have an interesting video for you, and that is I stopped over at Retro Repair Resale within Level 7 Games here in Denver, Colorado, and one thing that I noticed was Dakota had these very fancy Nintendo 64 cartridges designed after maybe the Pokemon games. So kind of had to get them all, really. I just had to catch them all. The only one that I'm missing is the Pokemon Crystal version, which I guess that does exist. These are immaculate looking. I have not tested them yet. We're going to test them together for the first time. I guess I'm still wearing this lanyard, but today Mrs. Broadcast and I went to VinCon 2025, which is a retro gaming convention in Fort Collins, Colorado, just north of here, about an hour. And so I'm actually working on editing that footage now. If you take a look over here, look at that. Ain't that adorable? So that's going to be coming out maybe Thursday, I think, is when that video is going to come out. It's more of a I don't know, a vlog kind of format more than anything. So if that's what you're interested in, some retro games and some stuff that we picked up during that convention, go ahead and be sure to tune in and give that a watch. But with all that out of the way, let's get back to the meat and potatoes of these Nintendo 64 cartridges. I mean, they're beautiful looking. So here we have the red cartridge. Let's see if we can get that to zoom in, huh? There we go. So we have that. I mean, just absolutely look at this detail. I mean, there's even, as you can kind of see, some speckles of gold dust within the cartridge. Just phenomenal. And even has like the back, like the actual Nintendo 64 backing. And yes, of course, these are repros. But what's pretty neat about these is that what they allow, I don't know if you can save the game normally, but it does give you some emulator options. So the way that these cartridges were flashed, you do have some emulator options where you're able to fast forward, rewind, pause, save state, load states, and maybe a couple others. I'm not entirely sure. Again, we are going to plug this in for the first time together and see what this is all about. So let's go ahead, let's open one of these up. Let's take a look, see what's going on inside the cartridge. Before we put it back together, plug it in to our TV and see how it works. I am also curious to test this out with the PolyMega to see kind of what difference, like we'll see if the PolyMega can even boot it for one thing. But one thing I'm noticing is that with Pokemon Gold here, it's like based off the actual cartridge, like that's a nice zoomed in image of Ho-Oh. Whereas like with Pokemon Red, it's kind of zoomed out a little bit. Let's get that. There we go, maybe. I'm looking at a little screen that's like this big, so I think that's in focus. But see how Charizard is like zoomed out? It's not like the cartridge at all. And an actual direct comparison that I actually have right here on my desk is with this Pokemon Yellow here. Again, Pikachu's like zoomed out, where on an actual Game Boy cartridge, although faded, it's more zoomed in. Also, it's a different yellow. But, you know, it's more zoomed in even when you look at the little box from Mini Box Gaming, that Pikachu is zoomed in and cropped in, where now Pikachu is pretty far out. Let's go ahead and get one of these guys open and see what makes it tick. So we just removed our security bits here. We're going to go ahead and open this up. What I do like is that it does include the metal shielding. Sometimes with these repros, oh, would you look at that? With the repros, you don't get the metal shielding here. But taking a look at this board, let's go ahead and get this pretty close to you guys, huh? Take a look at that. So we do have a battery in here. So I think we might be able to save to the cartridge itself as long as the battery doesn't die. So that is a nice board. Sometimes with these, they're all gobbed up with this black, I don't even know what it is, a rubber something. This is beautiful. The board here, I'm trying to see if this came from, where this board might have come from, but there's no markings on it that really tell what kind of board or where the board had come from originally, but that is gorgeous. And that is a nice quality reproduction to make this work. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna get this buttoned back up. There we go. Let's get our Nintendo 64 and plug this in and see how it boots. Let's go. Oh, but wait, Modern, what's that you're wearing? Oh, well, I'm glad you asked. I'm only wearing the all-new circuit jacket from Rin Zombie, collaboration on ModernBroadcast.tv. That's right, ModernBroadcast.tv, where we have this gorgeous, feels very good, quality kind of bomber jacket, circuitry on the arms, nice little design on the breast here, two very sizable pockets on each side, a nice high quality zipper. Oops, my shirt doesn't get in the way. A nice high quality zipper, and I punched my microphone. And the best part on the back is this gorgeous Modern Broadcast illustration inspired by 80s, 90s anime. Absolutely look at this thing. Phenomenal. This limited jacket and other limited items are available on modernbroadcast.tv, but act fast at the end of this month. They go away. That's right. We're going to be taking a poll where you get to decide on which designs stay and which ones gotta go. So be sure to check out modernbroadcast.tv and pay attention to the poll on the community tab on YouTube. Now, let's go plug in that Nintendo 64 and see what comes out. Good morning. It's the following morning. My microphone died, and so I had to reassess here. But while we're at it, I'm still in pajamas, but check out this, huh? You could also get this cool-ass hoodie from ModernBroadcast.tv. Again, only available for the end of this month. There's scrunchies, there's hoodies, t-shirts, that jacket we saw last night. But yeah, let's go ahead. Back to the video. We got our Nintendo 64. I do have it connected via HDMI using the, I think it's Eon, right? Adapter? Yeah, Eon adapter in the back, which is, I think, really meant for the Super Nintendo, I think, but it works. It fits. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna get our TV turned on here, and just kidding, it already is. And I left that on last night. Go ahead and check out Pokemon Yellow. There we have it. So we do have our Nintendo 64 controller here, but it is working. I did some research last night when my camera died. See how there's a little bit of stuttering there? And then all of a sudden, boom, it plays. So I guess when it comes to these cartridges, Pokemon Yellow is the one and only cartridge that has some difficulties. So at some point, this could crash on us. I don't know when. It's kind of, there is some debate if that's version 1 or version 2. Again, these cartridges are version 2. So A is A, B is B, and then our C buttons control the emulation here. So if we push left on the C buttons here, we bring up this menu where we can then check out the input and change what all that does. So our C buttons here, if we push down, that's a save state. If we push up on the C buttons, it's the load state. Left is the menu, and the right is fast forward. So it's nice that we have a couple options, especially when you're playing Pokemon. You want to fast forward through the grindy bits sometimes, or sometimes you're into the grindy bits, you know? Tomato, tomato, whatever you're into, you know, that's up to you. It's, you know, no kink shaming here. So go ahead and scroll down. If we go to screen, we could change the scale at which this is scaling. So right now, by default, it's 1.5, but you could take it down to 1.25 or just 1. I'm going to keep it at 1.5 just so it's nice and big for all of you. And pixels, there is some pixel shading here. Either we have sharp pixels or we can go smooth. Since we have it connected through the Eon HDMI adapter, I'm going to keep it at sharp because now it's like almost pixel perfect almost, which is phenomenal. Looks like we got a little jittering happening right over here on the edges of the Pokeballs. But I also don't know what erase is. I think that means erase like the save state. I have no idea. One thing that does not work in this, I tested last night. I played for a little while. Like we got out of Pallet Town, we were on our way to go fight Brock, and before I realized that my equipment died. So I pushed save in game, and then I booted the game back up. It doesn't exist. So the only way to save game on these cartridges is through the save state. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna load our save state, which is at the beginning, holding up on the control. And there we have it. So this is where I was testing the save state, literally in our bedroom. But we can fast forward. Now we can run super fast. And so it's right here after Oak catches Pikachu that the game is known to just kind of hose up, crash, you can't do anything. So I'm curious if it's going to happen. It did not happen last night. And then, like I said, I did research after the fact, and they were saying that that's a problem. So, okay, we caught it, or Oak caught it. And it was right here where it's a known crash point. Okay, so it looks like that might have been patched out. Maybe that was a version 1 issue. That's no longer a thing. But that was known to cause problems there. So we'll go ahead and fast forward. I like that it plays the music still. And the sounds, it's just like gonna go ahead and push down on the C stick, and there we have it, save state up there in the corners. So I just, man, that is dark out there. Just a slight move. Okay. So here we have it. I have Pokemon Gold, which is, by the way, one of my favorite Pokemon games is Pokemon Gold. But anyways, I have that plugged into our PolyMega here, and we see it registers that there's a cartridge, but it doesn't know what cartridge it is. That makes sense. Homebrew typically doesn't work on the PolyMega, but let's go ahead and see if we can get it to play. Wow, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think that was gonna work. I thought for sure it was gonna say no and just absolutely like shut down. We do have some audio stuttering. Do we have, oh, look at this. Okay, so on the gold version, we even have a clock where we could change the day and the time, so we could do some time manipulation, but otherwise it's the same controls as before and same filtering as before. One thing that's interesting with this version on the PolyMega is that there is some audio popping. It's either like perfect or it's kind of that. So anyways, I think overall it does work. It's just a little bit of audio glitches. There's no delay as far as pushing the button goes. So for those that are interested in playing this on the PolyMega, that is definitely possible. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribe. Let me know in the comment section down below what your thoughts are on having repros to play game consoles on other game consoles. Quite interesting. So just a fun little video. Have a great week, everyone, and take care. Dun, 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 dun.